Hey world builders, welcome back to Build Together. This is day 204. Today's prompt is describe a job that no one wants, but pays a lot and must be done in your world. I read about cistern scrapers. Now in Etovia, one of the most well-known pieces of meta-work is the cleanse water working, which forces water to separate itself from sedimentary contaminants of any kind, really. And they get forced to the bottom of a body of water, and then you can kind of scoop off the top, or if it's a small thing like a tub or something, you can dump it into another thing and clean out the bottom. But a cistern is this deep reservoir for water, and so you can't really dump off the top. And so what you do is you would regularly, normally, conduct the cleanse water working to keep the water clean, force the sediment to the bottom, and then you have clean water for a while before it needs to be done again, maybe in another month or something. But this is not, even for the amount of water in a cistern, it's not an insanely taxing working to do. It is a very well-known working that is relatively fundamental and simple, and so anybody who can transfuse can usually do this working at a decent scale at least one time a day. The problem is that because you're always forcing contaminants to the bottom over and over, you build up a sediment layer very quickly compared to any normal water reservoir. If left unscraped for too long, a cistern will develop several feet worth of a layer at the bottom that needs to be cleaned. Because at that point you have to do it almost daily because the sediment is just kind of like coming up, like bacteria and other contaminants are coming up through the sediment, like back into the water, like at a very regular basis. Now, a cistern can be scraped when it is dried out. So often, this is when a cistern scraper likes to do their job. One person goes down into the dried cistern, and somebody above them has a bucket on a rope, and the person has a large scraper or a flat shovel that they fill this bucket with. They yank twice, and slowly over time they will empty out the cistern of all the gunk at the bottom and potentially on the wall. However, if you're a large city that doesn't really have any empty cisterns or has cisterns that need to be cleaned that have water that's too crucial, cistern scrapers are still there to do this job, and this involves a complex process of two people go down and dive into the water, one with a bucket and the ability to transfuse or having a miner stone, and the other with a large flat shovel, and they will scoop some of the layer up below, put it into it just has to pass the opening of the bucket, and then the bucket carrier will cast a localized cleanse water spell on the bucket itself, which pushes that stuff to the bottom of the bucket as it shunts the regular water out. And they can fill a bucket in one breath usually, and they have to just do this until it's empty. And usually it takes a day for a normal cistern, but sometimes this can take months if a cistern's been left to go for too long. Describe a job that no one wants but pays a lot and must be done in your world. Thanks for building together.